can
tell you're a fan of animation. I see some toys back there.
Yeah. Well, of course, I get some more there. You know,
Nice.
bad guys, little drawings and stuff.
I love it. So, what I have to start with the curiosity of which one was your favorite character of the bad guys?
It would be Mr. Wolf for me.
Mr. Wolf?
Yeah. Yeah, I think just because you know, when you direct a film, you put a lot of yourself in the story, in the characters. In this case, you know, I think there's a lot of, you know, my own story in Mr. Wolf, so I relate to him quite a lot.
Okay. And do you, but just out of curiosity, do you know anybody that doesn't like birthdays or birthday cake?
Oh, I personally don't necessarily like, you know, the not because it's not the same thing as what Snake says in the film, which is basically, you know, his story with birthdays is that nobody ever showed up. I think for me, it's just like your birthday, you're the center of attention, and there's something about it that I'm not, just not don't necessarily like. So yeah, I'm not a big huge fan of those, but I, you know, of course, even they don't bother me as much as they do bother Snake. But I think so. I think I don't know if I would be able to just recall anyone that really hates it, but there's quite a few people that really don't like it, you know, and relate to it.
What was one of the things that attracted you to be part of this project? Because it touched a few facts about relationships and life.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the theme itself, which is, you know, a very topical and also, you know, rather deep and relatable theme, which is like don't judge, you know, someone without kind of knowing a little bit more about that person and you know and knowing what's going on under in his own his or her own life, you know. That's definitely a theme that I wanted to explore. You know, there is also, we're touching on difference, we're touching on minorities, we're touching on so many things there. Obviously there's a lot about this project that attracted me because it's an action film and it's, you know, heist movie and it's a genre movie that I really wanted to explore and have fun with the action and the adventure itself, you know. And also because it's told in with animals, you know, in a blended world. So there's so many things about it like that I kind of just drew me to it, you know. But I think the main thing would be, yeah, the subject matter,
Mm-hmm. And
definitely.
and choosing the cast, that
Yes,
must have been probably one of the most challenging part.
incredibly difficult, but so rewarding at the same time. You see, I mean, as you, I mean, I'm so proud of this cast, and this is an amazing group ensemble of incredible, you know, talents, and they and choosing them and getting to just to know them a little bit and just work with them quite a bit, you know, is you know, it's been such an incredible journey. But yeah, just finding that cast was not easy because we wanted many things. I wanted many things. We wanted to make sure that it was not your usual suspects, you know, for this kind of film. Having, you know, a cast that was able just to really work together and just click, which is not something that you, I mean, it's a byproduct of it, even though that's what we wanted. It happened this way. Um, but also, you know, incredible talents that could just tap into, you know, deep emotions, but also fun and heavy, you know, fantastic comedic chops, you know. But also that was not too famous and therefore had that, you know, we wanted to bring that potential of, you know, the public would discover who these guys were, you know. I mean, yes, there are, some of them are incredibly famous, but to the big main audience, not necessarily as much as to a more you know, attuned to movies and TV shows as, you know, as the big broader public, you know. And so that was something really interesting also. It's like, how can you just get these guys to blow up and become, you know, kind of iconic through these characters, you know.
So you said you were looking for a cast that would click. Does that mean some of them actually recorded together?
Yeah, we did quite a lot of recording at the same time, and this is something that I always wanted to try. Um, in animation, it's not easy to do that because we're recording in a sound booth. And what we do is like we take the sound record that we have of the voice of the actor, and then we chop it off usually and just try to make it, kind of time it to the storyboards that we created, and not necessarily just use exactly the delivery of the actor on the moment. It's slightly different from live action in this sense. So we edit the sound so that it kind of matches a little bit of the choreography that we have on screen, right? But to do that, you have to have clean takes of the actor, And so therefore, when we have two actors together in the same booth, starting to overlap, sometimes you can't separate one actor from the other. So we rarely do it. So we did it on this one because it also gives you a sense of improv and naturalism to, the performance that I really wanted. But what happened is that thanks to COVID, we ended up, everybody being recorded at their own places, sometimes sound studio, sometimes it was even at their own apartments or houses, homes. But because we were online, we could easily record everybody at the same time, and so that was incredibly helpful. And therefore, that's also why this gang kind of clicked big time between each other and started to really know each other really, really well,
You touched on what I wanted to ask you about directing, audio, cast, the color, the editing part, the action. I mean, is it just me, or does animation direction harder than directing shot?
live action.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I haven't done it really, in live action, so I wouldn't be able to say how complex it is. I'm sure it's because you have to also, direct your actors through physical action and actual choreography on stage. You have to have, all the makeup and everything going on. And it's also usually long shoots, and therefore it's not just one session of 2 or 3 hours. It's like weeks after weeks, So I wouldn't say it's easier in anime. It's harder. Oh, it's easier in live action. But I think I know where you're going at. It's basically in live action, at least you have a set, you have costumes, and the actors can immerse themselves into their character right there, right then. In my case, and in our case in animation, what I have to do, a lot of the work that I have to do with the actors is kind of just try to pitch them verbally what I'm trying to get, and also try to get them to project themselves into the characters and what is the situation and where we are and what happened, in that scene. And it's also a reason why, and it's not easy to do for them because they have nothing to look at, they're just basically reading a script. It's also quite interesting because towards the end of the film, when I screened them the film, a lot of them were like, oh, but that's what it is, having kind of no idea, because we record all these sequences in not the right order, right? And the script keeps evolving, and throughout a year and a half of production, we keep having the story evolve. So a lot of them were like, not surprised, but they didn't know exactly what the story was,
Been doing, just animation.
Yes.
Have you contemplated getting out and trying live action directing?
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is something that could be quite interesting. It's like it's always about stretching muscles and trying to venture into the world and try new things and learn new things. But I think animation is so specific for me. Like there's something so dear to my heart because I'm an artist and somebody who draws and animates, and that's where I come from. So it would be more or less an experiment, but animation would always have that special place,
Mm-hmm. What's one of the scenes that you really enjoying putting together?
In this movie?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot. I'm gonna give you two that I really, really am proud of, and because they're kind of a little bit of a statement on the style of this film and kind of my own desires, or my own style or sensibility. It's the first scene, which is that long one shot, and that is also the two characters coming out of a diner, and after that very mundane kind of conversation about birthdays, and that is also referencing Pulp Fiction. So they're walking out of the diner and then they rob the bank, and it's a one take, which is very difficult to do in animation. It's a 2.5 minute shot, very hard to do. And the other one is the, you know, kind of a ninja fight in prison, because it's a very action, you know, based sequence, but also the way we shot it and the action, the way we animated this is same thing. I've been wanting to see this kind of action sequences in American animation for a long, long time. It's very anime inspired. It's also very fun and dynamic to see, and it's cut in a way that is, in a way, I think, modern and different from what we usually see. And I wanted to see that. I'd been wanting to see that for a while. So, you know, these two scenes would be kind of my favorite ones.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to share that my favorite character was the snake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
From the beginning, and then I started leaning towards the wolf.
Yeah.
And then I went back to snake. I was like, I knew it. I had a good feeling. I had a good feeling about him.
Yeah, he's so cool. Yeah.
And so cynical. I think that's why I liked him.
I know. And Marc has been doing an amazing job on this. You know, he's so talented and so specific. You know, he really found a voice for him. No, I love Snake. I absolutely love Snake. Snake, Wolf, Diane.
Yeah, my favorite lines were snakes.
Yes. All right.
Thank you again. Congratulations, and I look forward to seeing a live action in the future.
We'll see about that. But thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome.
Have a great day. Bye.